Well, earlier this week, Animal Charity of Ohio announced they're in desperate need for funding due to an increase in animal abuse cases. So far this year alone, they've gotten over 500 reports of animal abuse and have personally rescued over 400 animals. Just on Tuesday, they rescued 14 dogs from a home in Youngstown. Animal Charity is now asking for financial support to help with its humane department operations and veterinary care. So here to talk a little bit more about what it is that they need, we have Jane McMurtry with Animal Charity joining us this morning. Jane, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Now, we did speak with you earlier in the week on Tuesday. That was about Animal Charity's need for funding. And since then, you rescued 14 animals from a home in Youngstown. Could you give us an update on that situation?
Yeah, we have rescued 14 animals from a home in Youngstown. They were in pretty bad shape. They were saturated in urine, so it was scalding their skin and causing urine burns and extremely dehydrated. Um, they're all starting to get medical baths and have been started on medications for their wounds. And they're all on a new feeding program because they were, some of them were extremely skinny and underweight. So we're working on getting them back to being healthy.
So for what seems like years now, Jane, we've been reporting on a growing number of animal hoarding and abuse and neglect cases. What do you think is maybe behind this issue?
Um, we know that with hoarding, it is strongly related to mental health. Um, we have been working with the Hoarding Coalition in Mahoning County, working on trying to make sure that when we're doing these cases, that the humans are getting addressed just as much as the animals. But our focus is obviously the animals. We just happen to come across the humans first sometimes. Um, and it's really had a huge uptick since COVID.
And you know, Animal Charity only takes in animals that come from abuse or neglect, and you don't get any type of government funding whatsoever. So how does that differ from other shelters?
Uh, a lot of shelters do get funding for operations from their county commissioners or from the cities. The other difference is that most cities have animal control. Youngstown does not have animal control, which means that all of those animals, if we weren't to respond or the Mahoning County Dog Warden wasn't there to respond, the animals would usually be left to die. So we take priority in making sure that all of the animals in the county are covered. But the problem is that we don't have enough funding to really support the amount of animals that our team is rescuing. Our team is doing a fantastic job bringing animals in that need to be brought in and rescued. But there is no support from the city that we're doing free services for. And we just really simply can't be doing this any much longer.
I would imagine it's very expensive for you to continue to keep up the work that you guys are doing. Talk to me about how important it is that you get the funds and what will happen if you don't.
Yeah, right now we are just donation. We're operating solely off of donations. So every $5 and $10, $50, $100 that comes in is going directly towards the animals that are in need in our mission and our operations. Um, but there are certain calls that we're doing for the cities in Mahoning County for people that are arrested and there's nobody to take those animals that typically an animal control operation would take. So if the city of Youngstown doesn't want to build a $10 million shelter and staff and hire deputies to work specifically for animal control, then we're thinking that it's about time that they agree to sit down and talk numbers with us.
Okay, so just real quick, in these last couple of short seconds that we have, how can people donate to you to help?
Animalcharityofohio.org or follow us on Facebook.
All right. Thank you so much, Jane, for coming on and talk to us about this. I really hope that you guys can get this situation figured out so that you can continue to do the work that you do for our community. Thank you so much.